Gin, I know it's raining, but what on earth is on your head?
It is a tin hat.
Well, thanks. I can see that. But why?
Because I have a strong suspicion that we're about to say that this car, the BMW i4, is actually better than this car, the Tesla Model 3. And I just think we need to be prepared for the backlash.
Aha, damn it. Yes, I wish I'd thought of that. Hang on a minute. Hello, Army Supplies?
For so long, Tesla has been the benchmark for electric cars, and Ginny and I have certainly done our fair share of fangirling over them.
Hatchback, and not just any old hatchback either.
And the front is actually useful.
Please go away. It makes me happy every time I hear that sound.
Now, there is no denying it. We do like them, we really do.
We really do, and we're not the only ones. The Model 3 topped the sales charts for electric cars in Europe in 2021, and it ended up being the second bestseller in the UK last year too.
And remember, that's across all cars, not just electric cars.
Yeah, pretty incredible, really. Not only is the company worth to know about over $1 trillion, they also sold close to 1 million cars in 2021.
Unbelievably impressive, but this success has not gone unnoticed. It's clearly come to the attention of BMW and the big cheeses there. Well, I think they've become a bit irked, to be honest, that customers are deserting them, buying Model 3s instead. So this is its answer, the BMW i4. And you know what? It's good. It's really, really good. And we reckon the Model 3 might finally have some competition on its hands.
We do indeed. But before we discover if my protective headgear is necessary, then please do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to switch those notifications on.
This is the i4 eDrive 40M Sport. It's the lower powered version of the i4, but that does not mean it's slow. It just means that the faster 50 model is ridiculously fast. The 40 range starts at around £52,000, but this prettier M Sport version is £2,500 extra. It has an 80.7 kilowatt hour battery bolted under the floor and one motor driving the rear wheels to give an official range of 365 miles.
The Model 3 starts at around £43,000, but the long-range dual motor, which is the best comparison to the BMW, also starts at just under £52,000. Now that's not the car we've got here though. This is the £60,000 Performance, because that's all we could get hold of from Tesla when we did the filming. You with us? You will be, don't worry.
Now, once you've added the BMW's option pack to the price, it does soon add up to the same cost as the Performance. But for the purpose of this test, we're going to use the figures for the long range.
Now, finance costs are pretty similar too, using the maker's own PCP schemes. The Model 3 long range is £700 a month, the BMW £738. But there's really not much to choose between these two with the financial numbers. There's not much when it comes to the efficiency numbers either. Efficiency drives are usually such a bad thing, aren't they? It means the biscuit budget gets cut, can't buy any new clothes or shoes, which we really do hate.
Never cut the biscuit budget. No, but when it comes to electric cars, well, actually, efficiency is a very good thing. And well, both of these cars are the only ones to receive the highest score possible in our Electrifying efficiency rating. That assesses the real world efficiency rating of all the electric cars that we drive, rather than just, relying on the figures that the car makers like to give us.
It's no wonder Wookie and Tommy didn't want to do this test. It's a very hard one to call. But let's kick off with style. I think we're in a better place to assess that than they are.
Now, I think by now we're all pretty used to the way the Model 3 looks, and I'm pretty sure that everyone is agreed that it's handsomely inoffensive. People are impressed at the way it looks because of what it is, rather than because it looks wow. The i4's front end is the most controversial part because it does divide opinion. However, I think this car is a very handsome looking thing, particularly in this colour, which everyone at Electrifying loves. This model is riding high on 19-inch wheels, which do seem to offer a decent compromise between looks, ride quality and that all-important efficiency.
Now this is where you are really going to have to decide which way you want to go, because the interiors of these two cars, well, they're like night and day, aren't they? The Tesla, as you can see, is all about minimalism. You've got the big screen in the middle of the dashboard, which of course does pretty much everything, from adjusting the mirrors to entertaining the kids with everything from karaoke to video games, and of course the ability to turn your Tesla into a whoopee cushion, which I will never tire of. But you know, once you're used to it all and you have got your head around the fact that there are no physical buttons, you know, even the glove box is open via the screen, which is a bit confusing at first. It all actually works really, really well. It's very intuitive. However, I do know that some people would like the displays to be more in the eye line. And actually, I do think a head-up display would be a really good addition. It does seem a bit of an obvious omission from the car.
The BMW, on the other hand, it's all really familiar, isn't it? You know, there's nothing scary, too futuristic about it. You've got proper switches for the main controls, like the mirrors and the window demisters. And if you don't like the touchscreen up front, or maybe you can't use it if you're wearing gloves at the time or something, then you've still got the use of the iDrive wheel down here, which I really love. It's brilliant while you're driving as well. Now, the Tesla fans may call me old-fashioned, and I'm all up for a bit of declutter, but sometimes a button is best, you know? And I think just overall, it just feels a bit more refined, a bit more special than in the Tesla. And that is just true of all BMW interiors, isn't it? You know, it has that well put together finish and quality. It's a nice place to be, isn't it? It doesn't have the gimmicks. Okay, fair enough. But the tech that is here for a purpose, and it works brilliantly. And you know what? What is wrong with the old traditional fart machine? Now, the i4 has a couple of little tricks up its sleeve. For example, it can do this because it's a hatchback, which is absolutely brilliant. I think it's so much more practical having a hatchback. It's just much easier for access and also gives you a bit more carrying capacity. The other thing that it can do is tow 1,600 kilos, whereas you compare that to the Model 3, which can tow nothing, nada, zilch, absolutely zero. So if towing is your thing, then the Model 3 is not for you. The other really interesting thing is with the Model 3, the maximum weight allowance, i.e. your passengers and your luggage, is 400 kilos. Now that sounds quite a lot, but if you're 5 up, divide that by 5. That's 80 kilos each, which is probably the size of an average man, which means you have no allowance for any luggage in the back. Something to bear in mind.
The BMW has a 550 kilogram carrying capacity, which could mean that you don't have to ask passengers to step onto the scales before climbing on board, which could be quite embarrassing. The Tesla's boot is actually pretty big, but there's no getting away from the fact that this is a saloon, and that will ultimately limit what you can carry.
Now this is where you're going to need to make some decisions once again on your priorities. Putting it simply, the Tesla is fast, it's very fast. This performance is in fact one of the fastest accelerating cars in the world. Even the more economy-minded long range is quicker to 60 than a whole host of exotic supercars. The Model 3 also has all-wheel drive, which means that it's got the traction in all weathers to really be able to use that power.
Now, the BMW's performance figures might look a little bit weedy in comparison, with a 0 to 60 of only 5.7 seconds. And it is only rear-wheel drive too, so you might be slithering a bit in the snow. However, that performance from the Tesla is great fun on occasion, but you do kind of have to question, is it really that necessary? Do you really need it? I mean, I've never felt that the BMW is too slow. And I think maybe the Model 3 can feel a bit violent at times, unnecessarily so. So I think personally, I would probably swap that speed for a bit more efficiency.
Or Allure Insurance Group. The underwriters hate all the performance potential of the Tesla, which means the Model 3 is in Group 50, while the BMW is in group 36, and that may well make a pretty big difference to you.
I think I would also trade those 2 seconds to 60 for a car that drives like this BMW. You know, the way that this i4 drives is just like, well, a BMW, I suppose, which is obviously a good thing. You know, the response to the steering, the acceleration is just brilliant. It's kind of like a powerful 4 Series, except without the noise, of course. What I would say is really remarkable is just that refinement that you get. The way it absorbs the bumps is truly quite astonishing. I would say it's actually probably better than the Mercedes EQS, which we tested a few weeks ago. And, you know, that's a car that costs twice the price of this. Also, I quite like it. You sit a little bit lower than you would on most electric cars. So, again, it just feels a bit more normal, a bit more familiar.
Look, I do love driving the Model 3. It's a great car to drive. Not to mention, as I have said repeatedly, very fast. But I do have to agree with Nikki on this one. Whoever was behind the driving dynamics on the i4 is quite frankly a complete genius. I think the danger is that the Model 3 begins to feel like a bit of a one-trick pony when you really get behind the wheel and drive it and compare it to just the all-round capability that the i4 has got. And of course, if you would like to see in-depth individual reviews of each of these cars, Model 3 and the BMW i4, then they are right here on the YouTube channel, so go find them. When you've watched this one, of course. Well, when it comes to efficiency, it's got to be a win for the Tesla. The charging network is absolutely brilliant, reliable, fast, and of course it actually exists.
Yes, that is true. I think you're so right though, because the Tesla network is a massive selling point, a real USP. However, the points have become notably busier in the past few months, obviously a result from the success of their sales.
Yeah, friends of mine had to recently wait a couple of hours to get their Tesla charged.
Not ideal.
Not good. Also remember that the non-Tesla network is growing really quickly too. And Tesla's network will be opened up to all users before too long, which I think will ruffle a few feathers.
Yeah, it really does change the game completely, actually, and that kind of USP suddenly disappears completely. Also, points to note though, charging speeds are about the same when you find a suitable charger, with both capable of taking on power at around 200 kilowatts in the right conditions.
These are both really efficient cars. Being packed with technology means that you're going to use less power in the real world to get from A to B. They both have tech such as heat pumps to make warming the cabin more efficient, and radar-operated brake regen to make the most of energy, which is usually wasted when you brake.
There's really not much in it. After all, both scored our top rating. But if we do have to call it, then the Tesla is fractionally more efficient overall.
Oh.
Where did you get that from?
It is amazing what you can find in the frunk of a Model 3. I think our protective headgear speaks volumes, really, doesn't it? I mean, if you drive a Tesla,
Or you want to drive a Tesla.
or maybe you think Elon Musk is a genius.
Or you just like cars that fire on demand, and let's face it, who doesn't?
Well, who doesn't exactly? Well, we have to apologise now. Don't hate us. Don't get too angry in the comments below. Although, do tell us what you think, because we do like to hear from you.
Because we do have some news to break for you. The BMW i4 is actually better than the Tesla Model 3.
Sorry, what? Did your mic cut there, Ginny?
The BMW i4 is better than the Tesla Model 3.
Ginny, you're going to have to say it out loud. It's okay.
Do I need to really have to say it?
I'll protect you.
Okay. The BMW i4 is better than the Tesla Model 3. There, I said it.
Whoa, it's there. She said it. It's out in the open. And it's true. I mean, you guys know as well as we do. We absolutely love the Model 3. And I'm sure a lot of you right now are pressing the caps on your keyboard, pointing out all the areas. Maybe it is better. But yeah, we do genuinely think the BMW i4 is a car that has finally matched the Tesla in areas like efficiency and charge, and it's more practical and it feels so much better to drive.
Oh, it really does. It is a joy to drive, and this car has really just moved the game on in so many ways. So much so that we now think this is the benchmark and it is the one to beat, and we're going to be wearing our protective headgear for some time to come.
Run!